Now, the Ghana Police Service has arrested Bishop Elisha Salifu Amoako and Moha Amoako, parents of the suspect driver involved in the fatal accident that claimed 2 lives at East Legon on Saturday, October 12, 2024. Now, the parents of the 16-year-old suspect driver, Elrad Salifu Amoako, are currently in custody assisting with investigations. In a statement on Monday, the service indicated that investigations have so far established that on 12 October 2024, suspect driver Elrad, driving a Jaguar SUV vehicle with 1 other occupant, rammed into a 4x4 Acura vehicle driven by Joseph Aka with 4 other occupants at Mensa Wood Street at East Legon. Additionally, the investigation further indicated that 3 of the 5 victims in the Acura vehicle during the accident were rescued, and the other 2 identified as Justine Agbenu and Mami Jomo, both 12 years of age, lost their lives. We still stay with this story, and we have been joined via the telephone by private legal practitioner Selima Duna to give us an understanding on the statement released by the police, especially with regards to the arrest of the parents or the gentleman who was driving the car that led to the death of 2 people. Selima Duna, if you can hear me, welcome to Channel One Newsroom.
Thank you, Vivian.
Well, isn't it a strange thing to have the parents of the suspect driver arrested rather than the suspect proper?
Well, when it comes to dealing with young offenders or juveniles, in this case, persons who are not above the age of 18, and even in some cases, persons not beyond the age of 21, the legal regime is quite different. So there is what we call parental responsibility, and also the fact that because the persons are young, if punishment is such that the person could be fined, there are instances where the parents will have to be the one to pay the fine, or the parent will have to face, some punishment, because it is generally the case that the parents have a duty to ensure that their children do the right thing. So there are provisions in the law like that. So the Juvenile Justice Act of Ghana 2003 Act 653 talks generally about how some of these things are. You can arrest the parents and ensure that the parents pays, some money or undertakes some punishment in respect of the offense the child has been arrested for.
Now, assuming the parents in this case were not aware of their underage son driving, what kind of charges will we see them face?
So, for example, this will come out as the facts are laid, the evidence is adduced. So, for example, Section 29 of the Juvenile Justice Act talks about how a juvenile offender may be dealt with. So, among some of those, we say that, for example, the child may be discharged conditionally or unconditionally. The offender can be made to give an undertaking. There could be probation. Could be left in the care of a relative or of a parent, or the child could be sent to a correctional facility, or order the parent or guardian or close relative of the offender to pay a fine, damages or cost, or order the parent or guardian or close relative of the offender to give security for the good behavior of the offender. So my understanding of what is happening is that for now, I think the police is at the investigative stage. They'll be able to come up with facts as to whether, the child took the car with the knowledge of the parents, or, understand the parents are playing in this. But in any case, the owners of the car, given that the person involved is a child, and the child has come in conflict with the law, the owner of the child, who is an adult, must surely answer some questions about how the child acquired the keys to the car. How come a child underage was driving, obviously without a license, because nobody will give a license to a child of 16 years. It's actually against the law for a person below the age of 18 to acquire a license. So the parents will have to, answer all these questions. So I'm sure that's why the police is questioning the parents.
Right.
Generally.
Right. What about the suspect driver? In this case, we know he's also in the hospital as we speak. He's a minor and all that. What is likely to happen to him in the face of the law?
Well, so this is a child. I mean, the law doesn't think that a child can commit a crime. So what we say is that a child is in conflict with the law. So I don't know the charges the police may prefer against him, but generally, matters like this, you have charges such as dangerous driving, careless and inconsiderate driving, etc. These charges will be preferred against the child, and whether there is bodily harm or minor bodily harm or there's aggravated nature, so an adult will be looking at fines ranging from maybe penalty units of about 200 penalty units to imprisonment of about 9 months or even 12 months, 2 years, depending on the level of the severity of the injury caused. But once the person is a child, it changes that completely because, like I said, the child cannot commit a crime. The child can only find himself in conflict with the law. So if the person is a child below 16, we are looking at 3 months or a fine. If the person is above 16 years, we are looking at 6 months jail term or less. If the person is above 16, around 18 to about 21 years, we're looking at a maximum of about 24 months. But instances where the law classifies the offense as a serious one, then we can look at things like 3 years, 3 years. But these offenses I've mentioned are not considered serious offense. Serious offenses will include things like murder, gun-related violence, drug issues, etc. Those are the things that are classified, for children as serious.
But in this case where people died, isn't that a serious one which should go under the serious offenses?
No, the law doesn't say so.
Okay.
The law prescribes specifically what we call serious offenses, and these are road traffic offenses.
Okay.
So these are road traffic offenses, and so they must fall within those road traffic offenses. I've heard people talk about murder, etc.
Yes.
Before you prove murder, there should be an intention to commit murder or to commit harm that would lead to murder. I'm not sure.
But if you're recklessly driving, I mean, ultimately
So reckless driving, careless and inconsiderate come under reckless driving, and it is specifically provided for by law. And if the person is an adult, the person could be jailed for a term of imprisonment not exceeding 5 years.
Okay. Or
given a fine or both. This is when the person is an adult. We've just talked about the Juvenile Justice Act, which deals children differently. So once it is not a serious offense, we're looking at about 6 months for a person of this age, or in some cases a fine. And if the court will slap a fine on them, the court will have to even look at the condition of the child and even the condition of the parents, because if you say a child should pay a fine, invariably the parents you're asking to pay the fine. So the court will have to take into consideration all these circumstances and then make a determination. And you see, even it's not the court that tries adults that will try this child if the matter is to go to court.
Okay.
There's a juvenile court, which is very informal. The police that will even appear in court and all of that must be informally. They don't have to dress in their normal police apparel, etc. The conversations in court are very informal, just because the person is a child. The law deals specially with children because there is a position of the law that children do not have the capacity to commit crime. That is why we say that children, we get in conflict with the law.
All right. Thank you very much, Adono. He's a legal practitioner, giving us some education around the latest to do with the East Legon accident, where the parents of the suspect have been picked up by police and they're aiding with investigations.